Namaskar and a very good afternoon to all the people, dignitaries, special invitees, experts, domain experts, students, citizens of tomorrow to this, Swadesh Conclave 2025. I really thank the organizers of this conclave, one for actually trying to bridge the gap. One of the audience, one of the students was talking about Pata Nahi Chalta Hai. And, these sort of conferences, workshops, conclaves, they become one mean to put a voice through for important issues, areas where we would like to focus. So what I'm going to say today, of course, with a sense of pride that I have become a part of an effort of the movement that had been started 6 years ago. And I really enjoyed the impromptu session Mr. Vijay conducted before this because it gave an insight to the kind of focus people came with to this particular conclave. Adding to that, again, I will say this is an impromptu speech from my side. I'll give a brief introduction of who I am. I know most of you or none of you know me. I hail from a very small town of Uttarakhand, Dehradun. I'm basically a geologist. I joined ONGC as a geologist way back in 1989. And after 36 years of service, I superannuated from the organization as the director on board for exploration, that is looking and discovering new oil and gas deposits in the country. I, of course, also served in a number of subsidiaries within the ONGC group of companies, was the chairperson for OTBCL, which is the ONGC Terry Biotech Limited, one of the JVs with Terry. So, what I'll say is, talking about oil and gas, how is it that we know that where to look for oil? I don't know how many of you are familiar with the process of looking for something which is on an average I'm saying, and especially in India, more than 3 kilometers deep inside the earth. So since we are talking about transforming Bharat, and again, a brief story as to how the oil story began in India. आप लोगों को पता है कि पहला तेल कब और कहाँ मिला इंडिया में किसी को भी? Okay. So the first oil discovery in the world was in 1869 in USA, in Pennsylvania. उसको Drake well से बोलते हैं, which was in 1869. In India, during the British Raj, in 1889, in a place, because वहाँ पर railways के लिए timber वगैरह करते थे, there was an Assam tobacco and timber company. 1889 में they discovered some sticky solution on the legs of an elephant. वहाँ से पता चला कि there is an oil seepage. ये place is Digboy. Any people in the northeast or associated with our industry, that was the starting point for the oil industry in India. And in 1956, before that, it was a held belief. Now we're talking about transforming Bharat. It was a held belief कि India में Assam के अलावा और कहीं भी oil or gas हो नहीं सकता. This was the thought in the Western world. This was the thought amongst the people who actually were in the oil and gas industry. I'm Sushma Rawat. I was with the oil and gas industry as Director Exploration in ONGC. I superannuated in June. So I'm just telling them the story of oil in India. How did we find? Because, transforming Bharat is about that. So against the belief at that particular point of time, the oil and gas minister, Pandit Keshav Dev Malviya, he thought that, let us start looking for it from a different point of view. different point of angle. So of course, we took help of Russians, of Romanians, and 1956, when the Oil and Gas Commission was formed out of Geological Survey of India. You will not believe it, it was in 1959 that we struck our first oil outside India, which was in the state of Gujarat. Now that is the story of how oil and gas industry in India actually started and took over. So we're talking about transforming Bharat, right? No matter what the so-called domain experts say, what the Western world says, have a belief in yourself. Have a belief in the potential this land of ours has. Again, touching upon oil and gas, we look for sedimentary basins to look for oil and gas. There are 26 sedimentary basins in India. आप लोगों ने मुंबई हाई का नाम सुना होगा, वो एक है उनमें से, which is the Bombay offshore basin. इस तरह के 26 basin हैं. You might have heard of Assam, as we already talked. And then we were talking about AI, about the policies. So just imagine the transformation which has taken place in the industry, in the country, because any industry does not survive on its own. It has to have supportive, auxiliary industries associated with it. I was talking about the subsurface. 3-4 kilometers down, you look for oil and gas. How do we do it? We carry out seismic surveys, geological surveys, geochemical surveys, integrate the data. And can you imagine, it's like an X-ray of the subsurface, wherein we get the signals, density signals, the seismic, which we call seismics. वो सब जो है उसका acquisition, फिर वो सारे data को integrate करना, seismic data का processing, it is all AI driven. I know there is a lot of usage of AI in the last, might be 5 to 10 years, but believe me, it was there even before I came into the industry. We drill wells, and then we record the electro signals, to find out ki rock kya hai, oil hai, gas hai, water hai. So all that is actually generated through AI. And I'm talking about transforming Bharat. When I entered the industry in 89, 90 was the first time I actually came across a 386, उस समय 386 होता था. And then, within 10 years, there was so much of transformation that we were working on workstation, Sun Microsystems at that time. Right now, it is all AI driven. It is all machine learning, Internet of Things, you call cloud storage, data analytics, because that is what the world is all about. And it is not a sudden thing. There is a gradual change. Ye aata hai, aayega. And, when you look at your mobile, it is not only something wherein you can send messages, WhatsApp, or, Insta or Facebook. This is literally like a guru. A lot of things you can just Google. Somebody was talking about people not being aware about policies. You just type a short statement on this and you'll get everything. In today's Bharat, I think all of the ministries, all of the departments, they have a website. They upload policies on that because along with looking for oil and gas, we have to go through the environmental clearances. So the policies of MOEFCC, the Forest Department, then the Pollution Control Board, then land acquisitions from different states because we were spread all across the country. Everything is there. So anybody with the curiosity, AI is a word, but it's a whole world out there. And day by day, it is going to increase exponentially. Even in the field of law, legal, this thing. My younger son is studying law. But even over there, one day AI is going to undertake or overtake all the hard work which you put through. You go through so many policies, laws, different laws. it might do it so much faster, bringing in time saving, bringing in more efficiencies, more case studies within a very short period of time. So what I would like all of you to do is to, remain curious, be a student lifelong, keep on learning. I have attained 60 years, but I still do not know a lot of things. I keep on learning. Talking about energy, it is not only oil and gas, it is the renewables, it is the geothermal. We have a lot of talk about EVs. So it is about, rare earth elements, about the critical minerals. So, learning never stops. And I think that is what I would suggest to you. And also I would request that whatever is spoken here, you take it with a keen ear and also question what is being said. That way, the engagement is more, and so is the learning. Thank you so much. Namaskar.